Hi, welcome to my website critique and audit and review. What I do in this series is I take a website and I then see if there's any ways in which it can improve its business and its traction on the internet. So today I'm going to look at South Pole Cleaning, which is a window cleaning and a gutter cleaning company. So join me now as I look to see how we can improve this website. Hi, I'm Zane from Zanet Design, and I help to use my 20 years experience to improve other businesses so that they can grow on the internet. So as I join this cleaning company now, let's see 5 ways in which it can improve, and also let's see some things that it's doing well. So today's website review is for southpolecleaning.co.uk, which is a local to Southbourne run company. And it looks like it's a window cleaning company at first impressions, but at the same time it looks like it does other things like cleaning gutters, does fascias and soffits and so on. So just looking at the home page, the overview of it, so we see it's using pure cleaning technology and a nice image to start with. So there's a nice kind of welcoming image there, and then we can see on the right hand side we've got the bullet points as to exactly why this company stands out against others. It gives value for money, and it says that it stays cleaner longer because they're using a pure water method. So those are all good things that stands out there. It's good to see it's got a get a quote on the home page, which is always important, along with some contact numbers and an email us as well, which looks like it goes through to the contact page. So these are all kind of good standard processes here. The top left logo, which links back to the page, so that's good to see. So that's all positive. It seems to load quite fast. When I loaded it on my phone earlier, and it works on my phone really well. So the speed of it seems to be pretty good. Though we'll do some tests to just see in a moment on that. And also it seems to have a good presence in Google. Just did a little bit of research before I looked at this website, and it seems to stand out well. Certainly on checkatrade as well. If I open this up in a different window, then we'll see that it's got a superb score of 10 out of 10, and that's on something like 380 odd reviews as well. So that's all very positive as well. So we'll come back to that in a moment. So a nice welcome image, a nice large image. It's kind of a really smart way of welcoming people to have a good quality image with clean windows. That's a really good example of windows being cleaned. And also we just noticed that there's lots of information as to what you do. So windows, conservatories, guttering, fascia and soffits. So each one of these will go through to a various section. Maybe the quality of the images, that looks a bit like an American for sale sign. So that's a good one. That's a proper shot, so that's good. And you've got get a quote here again. So we're looking for little things that perhaps we can improve. One of the things that stands out is you've got the branding of the blue, which is good, and it's nice and clean. I like the rounded corners here as well. But the button to get a quote, it's often said if this stands out in a different or contrasting colour to the rest of the website, you may find that increases the click-throughs, just because people can see then it clearly is a button. So it's kind of not the end of the world if you don't, but that's just worth considering. It's a nice amount of images here in the gallery as well, and they seem to work really well and show various ones that work. So there's lots of good things there. An FAQ section and the contact section, which I tried earlier, and that seems to work as well. Good. So the initial view of it is it looks really good. It looks impressive. It works well on mobiles. It seems to work on tablets. It's a good standard solid website, and really, you know, from a point of view of trying to find improvements for it, there's nothing that's overly obvious. Probably the first thing that I would say does stand out for me is the not secure. So if I was to go to the page and try and get the secure version of that, let's see what happens. So if I put in HTTPS, kind of the problem you get is that what happens is it wants to take you or redirect you to the standard website, the www, but because it can't do that without letting you know, you have this choice, and you can either go advanced and then click on proceed to it, but it does put in there unsafe. So I think bearing in mind that you don't want to put anyone off if perhaps people aren't familiar with the fact that it is a safe website. I know it is because I've been there several times, so maybe it'd be good to just consider that. Okay, so what other things can we see? Well, let's just consider for a moment checkatrade. Now, just one of the things that I just thought I noticed is if I click on that, it opens up in checkatrade, which is great and it's excellent. You've got the same logo, so that's good as a consistency. The numbers are same as well. It goes back to the website. Just a thought there that the fact that I've now lost the ability to go back to the website, now I can go back using this, and you see that opens into a new window. So checkatrade opens you up in a new window, which is the sensible way to do it. I would suggest that have this so that, so if I close down all windows, have it so that it opens in a new window, and it doesn't do that by nature. So what you want is you can just do a little change to the tag there, and what it will do, open it into a new window, and in that way then you don't lose. If they go to here and they then want to go back to the website, they've got it there as a tag as well, or a tab. So that would be just a kind of something to consider. Now, I'd normally go to something like a page speed, but I know your page speed was pretty good. But if I go to GT metrics, let's just try this and see if I load that in, and we'll see what happens, whether there's any issues there on the loading side of things. Okay, so just a few issues here. So you've got the compression situation here that needs to be enabled. So that'd be something like a Gzip compression that you probably need to enable. You can do that through using htaccess. Just a case of it compresses the files and means that they kind of get compressed and then sent over from the server a lot faster. So you probably just need to speak to the person who's running your server and ask if you can enable the Gzip compression on there. If you can access your htaccess, then you can just enable it that way by just putting to the mod gzip on yes, and that will then sort that out. So that will save you a lot of time really. There's a 69% reduction there, so you're getting a really bad grade on this, which is the reasons why these scores aren't kind of A's, which they really would be, because you've got quite a high your loading time is quite fast actually. You only got 28 requests as well, so you could really improve this and get these as A's quite easily actually. Because the other thing as well, this is a really easy one to fix. All of your various files and that, if I was to look at W3 total cache, there you go. So this one I use and I find it really helpful. It just it works well with SEO. It improves significantly Google's page speed improvements, which is kind of what you're after. At least 10 times the improvement, it says, to hope you get that grade A. So that's the type of thing. So I mean, this has been well used. It's updated all the time. So some of the things to look out for. It was updated 2 weeks ago, which shows that it's current. It has over 1 million active installations, which shows that it's considered a good source to have as a plugin. And you can just see again the ratings are pretty good for it as well. It's got like a 4.5. So I think again that's if you are running WordPress, which I'm not sure if you are, but if you are, that would be able to resolve that. So those two issues there, if those were both A's or B's, you would have a phenomenal site. But that is going to slow things down for no real good reason, which is a shame really. So if I was to, I just ran this earlier to see that you're certainly mobile friendly. So that's an excellent score, and there's no doubt that the site works really well on mobiles, because I've checked it for myself. And what's really good here as well is you've got the phone numbers, the email address, and then I can see what you do. And again, you've got this great image as well, so no issues there. Nice clear logo, so that's superb. But I do think there's probably a couple of loading issues there that you could resolve. So I'm looking, as always with these, for 5 things that could improve your business by making some tweaks or changes to your website. And the first one I'd say would be, those 2 things we looked at. The first one would be to enable the compression, so that would be easily done through Gzip. The second one would be to leverage browser caching, which would be done for a plugin, probably a caching plugin, and that would improve those two areas there. So that'll be the first two things. One thing I did notice, I did also run a Think with Google test. Let's bring that in as well. So just on, if we put it in there. So this was just saying it's a bit slow. Again, it loads fine, but just a bit slow. And it says basically if it was under 2.5 seconds, it would be an improvement. And I think you can get it well below that. So that just shows that you've definitely got room for improvement on those two areas there. So we'll stick with those two areas as the first two areas to consider. Okay, now I think on the home page there's quite a few little things we can do that's going to really help the home page to improve. So I think the way I'm going to split this up is the third area I'm going to say is SEO on the home page, and the fourth area I'll say is the design itself. So let's look at the home page first of all. And regarding SEO, it's not going to help your SEO at all if the browsers are not saying this is secure. So that's going to have an effect when you do a search in the search engines. So if we were to go South Pole Cleaning in the search engine, let's just do that. So searching Google. So it comes up, and that's fine at the moment, but this is going to have an increasing amount of issues going forward as browsers get more and more keener to say that these things aren't considered safe. So at the moment that's fine, but that's good that it comes up number one when I do South Pole Cleaning, so that's excellent. And again, it's great to see that you've included, or you've got this Google My Business, you've claimed that as well, so that's good. What I do notice though is I notice here you've not got a lot of keyword information here. So if you notice on most window cleaners, they have a lot more information about themselves, and most of these are yours anyway, which is good to see. But it would be really a good idea to maybe mention the window cleaning or the gutter cleaning service in your title tag as well, and then that will help just give Google a bit more understanding as to what you're cleaning, and it kind of is a keyword or two that you could put in there. So you've mentioned here that it's a window cleaning company, but then here you're mentioning it's a gutter cleaning service. So as much consistency between these as possible will help then improve the way Google views you. So you might think there's nothing in it, and to most people there isn't, but Google is a robot in effect who looks at this and then looks at this, and
I don't know how to help with that yet.
I'm always learning. And there you go, Google's always learning, because she's just heard me as well, if you could hear that in the background. So what else can we suggest then that we do here with as an improvement? Well, we mentioned that the security was one thing. We mentioned the home page could improve on the title, so there's not a lot of information on title for keywords. Also the H1 on this page, when I looked at it, there's no, if I look at the page source, there's no H1 at all on this page. I think it just starts off as an H4, so it's important to try and get an H1 on the home page if you can, particularly with the keywords like, well, you've got an H2, there you go, so that's your first reference to an H term, 100% pure cleaning technology, which is at the top of the page, so which is there. So I wonder whether that could be maybe in H1, or maybe this could be in H1, or maybe you just need to add a title here in H1 just so that it covers the keywords that you're trying to aim for. And on keywords, there's a couple of ways to add keywords to a website, which means it gives you new traffic, really fresh traffic from local people. One would be to have a blog, which you haven't got, though the FAQ is quite useful to get traffic if you've got some good FAQs on there. So a blog would be, or a news item would be one way to do it, and the other way would be to try and just put the keywords within the pages you have. So I did do a little search on keywords, and this is what I found. So you've got a lot of potential. So you come out at number 8 in Google for window cleaners in Ringwood, but obviously you're not based there anymore. And then looking at the rest of these, are all within the top 100, but they're not. This is the estimate of visitors. None of them are giving you any visitors to these pages. It seems your most successful page, apart from the home page, is the guttering fascia soffits. So how to clean soffits, cleaning soffits and fascias, and soffits cleaning, they're all producing some type of result for you. These two in particular, putting in the top 30. when you get into the top 10, there's a chance of some traffic. So you might get a slice of that 140 if you got into the top 10. These seem to be the ones that are maximising the amount of traffic you're going to get. So window cleaner on a pole, or window pole cleaning. So those are two keywords you might want to improve in the reference to there. So if you put one of these in your H1, you may find that increases the traffic over time too. So just worth bearing in mind that if we're looking at the homepage, then there's a few things you could do with SEO that would help you. Those are some of the things that I'd suggest. So that'd be my third thing to look at, is the homepage SEO. Now, just the design's the fourth part of the homepage that I think's worth mentioning, and it is just things like I would have the checkatrade open up in a new window, which we looked at earlier. I'd have the get a quote in a different colour so it stands out right from the start, maybe even a bit larger on there. And also I noticed that you've got 5 stars here. I've done a video for showing how those reviews can be shown on your website. So you might want to add those so that they show on your website using a plugin if you've got WordPress, or you may want to just have the checkatrade. So there's a way, again, you could just put the checkatrade, but put the 10 out of 10, or perhaps put some of the reviews there as well. I think there's something like a little widget you can get that will bring that out too. So I would kind of, without boasting, I think you should perhaps, try and get a bit more information, maybe cut down on this amount of information here, half it, and then have another box below here or above here, or even have this image right across, and then have a slightly different layout so that you can include winning people's trust over by seeing that you've got 5 out of 5 on Google and 10 out of 10 on checkatrade. Those are the types of things that people are looking for when they go to websites. If you check out other people's websites in the same area as you, you'll see that they probably boast these things a great more than you do. So modesty is important, but at the same time, to persuade people that you are a legitimate window cleaning company or a gutter cleaning company, you do need to let people see that others are saying these things about you, and those are outstanding ratings as well to show. So my final thing, I noticed when I was looking at Google My Business, if I do let's just see where you come up in Google. So if I put a gutter cleaning service, that's what you claim to be in Bournemouth, England. Okay, so ideally you want to be in the top 3 here, and you're not. Let's see where you come. So this is the first page. There's about 20 on the first page, so you're not there. Okay, let's see if you're on the second page. Okay, so right at the foot of the second page, that's number 40. So I think it would be well worth investing in trying to get this up a bit. So how are you going to get that up a bit? Gutter cleaning service in Bournemouth, you've got 39 other competitors above you. Some have got less stars than you. You've got 8 times 5. Some of these have only got 1. This one's got none. So it's not just about the ratings. What else is that? I mean, this one's got no website, no directions. It almost doesn't exist, and yet it's still rated above you. Sometimes it can just be about geographically where the person is based to where the search is based. So the GPS in effect could affect the outcome of that. Sometimes it's about what's worded, but bearing in mind that's exactly the wordings that you've put on where you wanted to be found on Google My Business. It might be worth also considering, are your NAP, or your name, address and phone number, which I've covered in a different video, which I'll put a link down below in this video for, are they the same? They're probably different, which is often the problem. So if we go to contact, we see here then, so it's Bournemouth, Dorset. So that's the one there. If we go to South Pole Cleaning, so we've got 204 Seafield Road RD, and here we've got road, so that could be fixed straight away. Then you've not got you've got Bournemouth BH6 511 5LL, I mean, and you've got Dorset in there before the BH6. So the Dorset there, the road there, those two things alone will make Google think that you may not be the same company. On top of that, you've then got a lot about window cleaning, and yet then here it says gutter cleaning. So All these things sound ridiculous because we know common sense prevails in the world in general, but Google doesn't always get these things, and it does say ideally if you can make them identical and make these identical, it will make a big difference. It's good you've got a request to quote, so that's good. It means you've got the app. So what you need to do is you need to go through this and just add as many things as you can. I notice you've got reviews and you've replied to them, so that's really good. So that's absolutely good. You've got images in here. You can ask questions. Now you might think, well, why would I ask my own questions? But your FAQ page, why not put those FAQs on there as well? It just helps to see Google sees that you're legitimate. Keep adding photos. Every time you add a photo, that makes a big difference to how Google views you. So it will help boost this up slightly. I think what it might be worth doing is just seeing what things is there that so let's go, if I go incognito, that will help me to see, so I don't log in to my account. Let's see what I've come up. So on my account here, so I've got products, which I don't seem to see on yours. Questions and answers, a big description here as well, which goes on if I click more, which again adds some keywords to tell what I'm about. Then here's, you can order online, and you've got other products as well here. So there are lots of other things that haven't been filled out when it comes to your Google My Business, which I've got several videos on this as well. So I would go back to here and just see, is there anything else you could fill out on here to help. So it's not just about the ratings. That's kind of worth bearing in mind. And then if you get to the top 3, then, well, there's no end of traffic that can come in from that. But obviously, even getting on the first page will make some difference. So I think that's probably my 5 then. So let's just, in conclusion, just let me just quickly summarize if I've got 5. So the first thing is to enable the compression, which we mentioned from this report. The second was to enable caching, which could be done for a plugin. The third thing was the SEO on the home page. So that could improve by having a secure certificate and having perhaps some keywords put throughout, maybe having an H1 tag, improving the title tag up here as well, I think we mentioned. The fourth thing on the home page would be more to do with the layout. So have maybe 5-star Google review, which I've got a video for, have 10 out of 10 from checkatrade, have the checkatrade open in a different window so that you don't lose your client if they're on your website, and have the quote in a different color. And then finally, just make sure that the address on your website is exactly the same as the address on your Google My Business. And I think that just about gives you 5 things to look at. Hopefully that's been useful to everyone who's listening. Make sure you subscribe, and if you want your website to be given a free critique, then by all means contact me at zanet.co.uk. Thanks for watching.